This is Danny Mitchell, Team Ironfighter. Welcome to the shed. I'm building a shed out of pallets, as you can see. It's going to be my own little private gym. Today we're talking about Zwift. So what is Zwift? How can we use Zwift for training? And some of the pros and cons about Zwift. So yeah, let's get started. Seat in my aeroplane chair, just purchased, random purchase, wetsuit drying there. Yeah, so let's talk about Zwift. So Zwift is an app. It can be put on a laptop, it can be used on a smartphone, it can be on a tablet, and it's basically a virtual cycling game, if you like. You can run on there also, but we're focusing on cycling today. So basically it's taking the monotony of sitting on a bike and staring at a wall or a TV, and it's making it more interactive. There's lots of routes on there that are real routes, you know, London, France. They also have Watopia, which is like their own routes that they create. You know, it's the same terrain, so if you use a smart trainer you can get the same resistance if you're going uphill and stuff, changing gears. It's basically a virtual cycling app where it's replicating as best as possible being out on the road. So lots of triathletes and cyclists use this for training. So the first thing is, let's look at what you actually need, what equipment you need to be able to use Zwift. Right, so obviously the number one thing you need is a bike. Okay, so it doesn't have to be a road bike, it could be any bike, but you need a bike just to get started. So I've got my road bike, which I used for my first race, is there. And then the next thing you're going to need is a smart trainer. So if you look down here, I've got the Wahoo Kicker power trainer. So these are called turbo trainers or smart trainers. So when I pedal, you can see it's turning that there. So that can measure the speed, it can change the resistance. So all you have to do to get your bike on there is just take your back wheel off, and then you just put in your chain directly onto the drive of the smart trainer. So that way, your smart trainer, if it has Bluetooth, it can then connect to the Zwift app. So this is the problem that some people face. So there is a lot of cheap sort of turbo trainers out there that you can get. They're just kind of manual. You put your bike on, you pedal, and that's it. It's just a static trainer. So, and they're quite cheap to buy. But if you want to use Zwift, you need a turbo trainer that has Bluetooth. So that can talk to the app, and it can tell it the speed, and it can start to change the resistance there. So the Kicker, the Wahoo Kicker, is actually made by the people who make Zwift. So that's why I got that. It was a little bit expensive. I paid £700 for a reconditioned turbo trainer. That was smack bang in the middle of the lockdown when the prices for like home fitness gear were through the roof. So you can maybe get them cheaper now, but yeah, I got that one. It's great, it's perfect. If you shop around, you probably will be able to get cheaper ones of different brands. You just got to make sure, if you want to use Zwift, that you're looking for a turbo trainer. They should say on the description, like, compatible with Zwift. That is what you want. So if you're getting a turbo trainer, smart trainer, you want to use Zwift, you need to make sure it has Bluetooth and it's compatible with Zwift. So now you've got your turbo trainer, you've got your bike set up. So you can crack on. You can jump on there. If you've got a watch like a Garmin or anything like that, you can use a Bluetooth then to connect to your turbo trainer, and you can just sit on that, pedal. Your watch is going to record that. You can see your speed and your time and everything on your watch. So you could do that, and you could just watch TV. So if you wanted to just do that and not use Zwift, that's an option. But Zwift is only it's $12.99 a month, and it just comes out monthly. You do get a little free trial on there if you want to just give it a go. But once you signed up today, there's so many workouts and stuff that you can use. I use it on my laptop. I get it on my laptop, but if you could get it on a tablet, You could put it on if you've got a TV on the wall, a smart TV, you can put it straight on the smart TV. So one thing that I got as well is with the laptop, because of the front wheel of the bike, the laptop is quite far away, so it's hard to see. So I got this little Zwift table off eBay. So they actually make these, it's not made by Zwift, but some people make these little Zwift tables, so your front wheel can go right underneath, and I can sit the laptop right on top here, so it's nice and close, so I've got a good view, which you will see later. So yeah, if you want to get the Zwift app, it's $12.99, and there's so much content on there, loads of different training, little training courses you can do. It's so good. So let's look at Zwift now. Let's open up Zwift and let's see what's on there, and how you should get started on there. Right, laptop's on my little table here. Let's have a look at Zwift. So I've opened it up. Let's click on Let's Go. So obviously, flip this round. Obviously, you need a Wi-Fi connection. That's another thing as well. So make sure, you know, I'm in pretty good range of my house here, so I've got a good Wi-Fi connection. So that's really important. So just gives you this little loading screen first, and then once this is up, we're not turned on yet. So let me just straddle my bike. So I've not got my turbo trainer turned on or anything yet. So we're just gonna go in there without anything but see this here. So there's your Bluetooth connecting. It's connected to my heart rate monitor, which is just sat here. But what it'll do is it'll pick up your power source, which is your trainer, and then this is your, when it says controllable, this is going to be setting the resistance. Cadence is my speed sensor. Oh, sorry, I've got a speed sensor here, but that's built into my turbo, and then here cadence is my RPM sensor, which is on one of my pedals, which I need to replace actually. So if I just skip this, yes, I'm sure it'll take us to this. So this is the main screen that you're going to get to when you first come onto Zwift. So there's like a little schedule here of all the different places. So on different days, the places where you can ride are actually going to change. It's not always the same. There's some events here, races you can join. Here's other Zwifters who you can join. You can, you know, make friends with people and stuff. Here's my connected devices. Here's the places I can ride. So I can click on a place. So let's say we're in France. Let's look at the routes, and I can find a route. So this is the, you know, these are real maps, real routes. So here, look at this one. I can do, you know, it's a 63-kilometer route, 590 elevation in meters. So it shows you a little run through map there. So it will actually take me to that map, and I'll just follow that route. You can click surprise me as well, and it'll just give you a random one. So you can do that, which is really cool. We've got Paris there, and Watopia, which is just their custom kind of world, what they've made, lots of different stuff in there, which is pretty cool. But for me, the really good bit is this, where it says training. So if I click on this now, and this is where you want to be getting started. So here you can see all these different workouts. So let's just close this menu. So if I come to the top, so less than 30 minutes to burn, 60 minutes, 60 to 90 minutes, or 90 minutes above to burn. These are really good. You know, you just jump in one of these, find a workout to suit you for the day. You've got plans in there, you know, so you can literally give you every day a plan of what to do. Those are pretty good. But yeah, where I would start, so what you want to do is you want to go to FTP tests. You want to go to this, and you want to start with one of these tests. So there's the FTP, the short version of the test, so which I completed there. It tells you the date I completed it, and my FTP came out at 256 watts. So I need to redo that, because that was quite a while ago, and it's definitely higher than that now. But what this does by finding this FTP, it will change all the other workouts. So if I click on, let's click on another, let's go 60 to 90 minutes. This one, yeah, the sweet spot training. So because my FTP is set at this, all these sort of these are the watts that it's expecting me to do. So let's just hover over, look. So it wants me to do 5 minutes, 243 watts. That is based on my FTP being this. Yeah, there's my FTP there. So as that increases, these are going to increase. Or if this is lower, these are going to be lower. So the workouts are designed for you, they're custom to your level of endurance. So that is why this is so powerful for training. So you can redo them FTP tests at any point. You've got all these, you know, you've got 6-week beginner FTP builder. That'll give you, you know, different workouts to do every day. You know, Olympic triathlon preparation, Zwift Academy, 12-week winter plan. You know, from beginner to advanced, there's so much stuff on here, and I'm only just touching on it. So yeah, so much stuff. Today I'm going to do a little FTP. Yeah, I'm going to do 2 FTP blocks today in that workout. Flip this round. So lots and lots of training on there. Again, you can just free ride. You can just pick a map and you can just ride. Maybe for your first time on there, that's probably the best thing to do, is just ride and just get a feel for it, and then come back and do one of the FTP tests, and then that'll set all your training plan. You know, whenever you click on any of the training, it'll be custom to your FTP. So that's a little insight into how it looks. Let's take a look now at some of the pros and cons of using Zwift. Positive points, some of the pros of Zwift. So let's go number 1. Number 1 is the danger element. It removes the danger element. So I'm a novice cyclist. When I'm out on the road, you know, people make mistakes, and it's very easy. Even if you're an advanced cyclist, it's very easy to get caught in something. Even if it's not your fault, it can be. You know, a lot of drivers hate cyclists. It's just a fact. So it is dangerous out on the road. You know, anything can happen, especially when the weather's bad as well. That's another thing. If the weather's really bad, if you've got Zwift, you can get a good workout inside. Or if you're not too confident on the road using Zwift, you know, you're still getting those miles in, but you're just eliminating that danger element. So that's the first point for me. It is, you know, staying safe. It's safety, you know, avoiding bad weather and avoiding any kind of bad traffic accidents and stuff like that. So point number 1 is staying safe, avoid danger. Okay, good point number 2, which kind of ties in a little bit to the first point, is you can get a really good workout. In fact, you can get a better workout on this in here than you can out on the road, unless the roads are closed, of course, to traffic. Just because when you're out on the road, so my coach John, he'd give me a workout and say, I want you riding 20 minutes at threshold. So I'd go out and I'd try to hit those numbers. I'd try to hit that heart rate, but because I'm starting, stopping, letting traffic by, stopping at junctions, I could never get up to that heart rate, even on a long ride. So the beauty of Zwift is you can hit those numbers, and you don't have to worry about starting, stopping all the time. It's just, you just go, you just concentrate on your workout. So for me, I get a much harder workout, and you know, the time constraints as well. You know, you can pick a workout on there, 45 minutes, and you can just blast it out. You can hit those zones you need to hit, and it's done. So for me, Zwift is the best if I want a hard workout. I can get it done. And then number 3, which again ties into point number 2, is the coaching on there is phenomenal. So all the workouts that are on there have been designed by top athletes. Okay, so you've basically got in Zwift, you're paying for a personal coach, you know, rather than, you know, seeking out someone to give you a training plan. The training plans are on there, they're designed by top quality coaches. And once you've done your FTP test, all those watts, those, you know, the power that you need to be hitting, it's all designed to you. So that is a real big bonus, is you're paying for top quality coaching and training on there. So yeah, they're my big 3 takeaways. There's more positive points, but I'm just concentrating on the top 3. So now let's look at the 3 sort of cons, the 3 negative points of Zwift. So negative point number 1, and this is the killer really, is just the expense of it.
So the monthly subscription to Zwift isn't too bad, $12.99 a month for what you're getting for the coaching, everything that's on there. I think that is good value, but it's the initial setup cost. So the turbo itself, the bike. You can save on a bike. You can go on Facebook Marketplace and you can get a bike pretty cheap on there. It doesn't need to be anything special, but yeah, the turbo itself is going to cost you some money. And then there's little extra things like this. So I've got a Garmin chest strap which can be used underwater. I think it was about 70 quid, but that will not connect to Zwift. So I've had to buy this, which is their own brand of heart rate monitor, so I can see my heart rate on the screen. So they've kind of boxed it off really, where you have to buy their stuff. Now there may be other heart rate monitors that connect to it, but I just went for this one. So I use that when I'm on the bike. So it's just all the accessories and stuff, and that's where they do make the money in selling that. So yeah, the biggest kind of problem with Zwift is the overall expense. Mainly your turbo is what's going to cost them money. Okay, point number 2. Now this is the fact that your bike, it's getting it on and off the turbo. It takes a little bit of time, and it's a little mess around. If you want to get out on the road quickly, you've got to take it off, put your wheel on, it's just the time and effort to take that off and then put it back on when you need it on, so that is another downside. If you're going to be using the turbo and out on the road, switching between the two, it is a little bit time consuming, having to take it on and off. So it does tie your bike up. So now my bike's on the turbo, I probably won't go out on the road. What I might actually do though is, if I upgrade my bike at some point, I'll leave this one on the turbo and I'll have a bike that I use for racing and for being out on the road, and then I'll have a bike on my turbo. But again, this is more cost because then I'll have 2 bikes, and then obviously you got to store them and everything like that. So yeah, that is another one that it does tie your bike up, and it's just a bit of a inconvenience to take it off to get out and put it back on. Point number 3 is that you can't really beat, no matter how much you want to replicate being on the road, you can't really beat actually being on the road. So it's the same for anything really. It's the same for running. So like I run on a treadmill because it's a little bit better for my knees, but then I'm still at least once a week I'm out on the road running. So it's a little bit like that, the same kind of principle. Like swimming in a pool, for example. If you're swimming in a pool but your actual race is in open water, at some point you need to get in that open water. So that is one of the negatives, is that if you're on there too much, you may be missing out on them miles on the road that you should be getting in. But again, it comes back down to that danger factor of, being out on the road can be dangerous, and you can get a really good workout when you're inside on the bike, which kind of brings us back full circle, which is why I really like Zwift. And I'll continue to use it just because I can get a hard workout. There's good sort of coaching, structured training on there, and it's just safer. It's just safer. I'm indoors. I'm not going to fall off and bash my head. So yeah, that's my little breakdown of the pros and cons. So this is today's workout we're going to do. 2 FTP intervals. If we look here, we can see it's a ramped warm-up, and then it's a block, 15 minutes to 256 watts. 10 minutes sort of recovery, and then again another 15-minute block into a cool down. So yeah, let's get on the bike and get started. Halfway through today's workout, I've got a very good sweat on, working in that threshold today. So yeah, getting a really good workout on here. Like I say, the difference between this and the road is you can really push the pace. You don't have to stop. You don't have to wait for cars. You literally just look at the numbers, what you need to hit, and hit those numbers. So what I'll do now is I'll flip the screen around so you can see what I'm seeing and see how it works. Apologies for the heavy breathing and sweating. See if I can try not to shake too much. So there's what I'm seeing now. You can see my little rider. You can customize this guy. So I've got a few things on the screen. The main big number you can see is my watts. So I'm trying to keep them at the minute. I'm in a 10-minute block, trying to keep it around 155. So watch this, if I slow down now, see how it's going red, telling me to go harder, more power. And by the same token, if I go too hard, that'll tell me to reduce power. So there's the workout block there. 2 15-minute FTP intervals. So I completed my first one. It's that little star on the left, sorry I'm shaking. And now I'm in the 10-minute recovery before we go again for another 15-minute block of FTP, which is functional threshold power. So the like I say, there's a nice little test on here for your FTP. So these numbers are based on my FTP. So if you do the FTP test on here, you will get your own numbers. So you can see the total time there, my heart rate. Underneath my heart rate should be my RPM, but my speed sensor's broken at the minute. My speed there, my total kilometers, 15k, my elevation. You got a little map, and these are all based on real streets, depending on what city you're in. And then you've got this here, which is all the riders around me. I've got a little table at the side of all the riders around me. So there's an app that you can actually use while you're riding. I don't use it while I'm riding, I just concentrate on the ride. But there is an app, if you're riding in a team with others, you can speak to them and you can see where everyone is, what their current power to weight ratio is, how far they've gone. So it's pretty good. You could even link that up with, you know, FaceTime if you wanted to do group rides. So yeah, it's a really good tool. I'm using this more than you still need to get out on the road, but for all the points that I stated earlier, I think this is a really good tool to use. And yeah, I'm on this at least twice a week. It's good, stores all your numbers. I export everything on mine to Strava. It goes straight across to there. And yeah, like you say, there's an app so you can add people. So other riders that I know, I can add them, I can see where they're riding, we can meet up. So yeah, add me on there. Just look for Danny Mitchell and in brackets Ironfighter. Easy to find. So yeah, I'm gonna finish this little block at 155, and we've got a tough 15-minute block to finish, so I'll check in when I'm done. Right, ride done. What a lovely day. I've got a nice dab on just outside, cooling down a little bit now. So that is the threshold ride done. The last block 15 minutes were tough. I sort of fell off a little bit towards the end, but yeah, got it done. Good workout. Again, it's just good because on the road I can't really push it that hard. I got my heart rate right up there. Struggle to get my heart rate high when I'm out on the road because of stopping and starting, but on there you can really push that heart rate. All my numbers are saved. That workout will be on Strava now. All my watches updated with all those numbers. So yeah, really good tool. Give it a go. I've outlined all the pros and cons on here, so let me know what you think, and if you want to see any other videos, just drop a little comment below, and I will see you next Wednesday. Peace.